Video 4, Investor Pitch. Finally, let's discuss the investor pitch. As the name suggests, this is the pitch where you get a chance to talk to your investors in detail about your startup. You typically have 20 to 30 minutes or more to pitch, actually to have a conversation. You've given your elevator pitch, you've nailed your demo pitch, and you've secured a meeting with your investors. Now you're sitting with the VC investment team, and you have around 20 or 30 minutes to walk them through your investor pitch to really convince them that this is a significant opportunity that they should consider investing in. If you've reached this stage, it means the investor sees something of interest, a potential investment. But they have questions they need answers to. As an investor, you need to know that our team has a checklist of 245 questions before we make an investment. The simple ones are, what's the problem? How big is it? Why do people actually want it solved? And will they pay for it to solve it now? Who are these guys? Why should I believe they can execute on this process? What's the innovation? What makes it valuable and unique? Why can't anyone else do this? How do they make money? How will they use my investment? How will I make a great return back from that investment? Simple stuff, simple questions, but there are 245 of them. That's a lot. The ones I just mentioned are the standard, easy, basic questions, but the more in-depth ones are what are both interesting and challenging. You don't need to answer all 245 questions in your investor pitch deck, please. You just have to have the answer to enough of them so your investor wants to keep asking more. For this to happen, it's critical that you think like an investor so that you can anticipate the questions an investor typically has and prepare for it, and to present answers in the right order. You're going to take your investors on a journey with you. You want to walk them through the business, your process, in a way that keeps them interested and energized. You want to take them through a logical flow that they can follow. Their flow, not yours. If you think about your demo pitch as explaining the business at a 40,000-foot level, giving investors a perspective of the landscape now, think of this process as slowly bringing them down to earth with the objective of landing an investment. If you bring them down too fast, the investments will crash. For instance, if you dive down to the ground on one subject like technology before they really understand why it's important, you'll lose them. Remember, they need to keep the entire picture in mind. And you're talking to them as an investor, not as a fellow entrepreneur or a fellow technologist, even if they were in real life one of those. Now they're an investor. They want to know, if I give you $1, if I give you $1 million now, how will you use it? How will you grow it? How will it not be risked? How can I trust you with it? And how will you give me back 10 or 100 times my money? Everything else is just detailed. Convince them of these simple things, that when they give you money, you're going to use it wisely, they can trust you, you've got a very unique business that's going to give them a return. Remember, they only invest in 1 out of 100 entities they look at. So the last thing to remember, the more you can present your company through the mind frame that they think through, the better you'll be at keeping them engaged. If they come from a technical perspective, you present your story from a technical perspective. But if they come from a marketing perspective or a financing perspective, you present to them your story through a technical or financial perspective. You do this by researching about your investor before you present and by asking questions at the beginning of your meeting before you start your presentation. In summary, it's so important for you to understand that I'm going to repeat this one more time. Your investor presentation is more about you and less about your deck. So you need to make sure that your deck supports you and does not get in the way of the investor engaging with you and understanding what you're about. Always remember that your pitch must convey these simple things. Integrity. Can I trust you? Passion. Do you care about this problem? Experience. Do you truly feel the problem or have an expertise to understand the market? Skills. Why should I believe that you can solve this problem? Leadership. Can you lead a team? Commitment. Are you committed to solving this problem no matter what it takes? Vision. Do you have a long-term plan or roadmap for your startup? And coachability. Are you willing to learn from those around you who know more or better? I'm going to break down the investor pitch in more and greater detail in another module.